Wretched Radio begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Todd, got some very exciting news about Brian Houston's Hillsong Conference this year. They're going to feature Joseph Prince, Joyce Meyer, and our favorite pastor rock star, Stephen Furtick. But I guess we don't need to worry about any of the word faith stuff because Chris Tomlin's doing the music.
You know, okay. All right. So I'm Chris Tomlin, and I get an invitation to do this. Would I go? Now, historically, here's my rule. If I got invited to go to the Brian Houston conference, would I go? I would, if I could preach whatever I wanted to. Now, I do think at the same time, if I'm going to go to a conference like that, I think I might be inclined to do a couple of things. One would be to let everybody know that could possibly know why I am going and what I plan on saying. Number two, if you do not in some form speak against the bad theology that's there, I wouldn't say it was a sin, but I'd say you missed an opportunity. But I would go. I would go and I would preach. I would go to the Mormon Temple. I would go to the Jehovah's Witness, whatever they call their shindig. And I would go to the Brian Houston affair if I could say whatever I wanted to. Because accepting an invitation is different than extending an invitation. But what about a worship leader like Chris Tomlin? Would I go and lead worship at something like that? That's a little different, isn't it? That's instead of being prophetic, there's a bit of an assumption there that people there all understand the truth. Now, undoubtedly, there are going to be some Christians there, confused ones, misled ones, but there will be Christians there. But would I go to a conference that overall is influenced and so swayed by the prosperity nonsense? I don't think I would do that for worship. I don't think I would. Now, would I shellac Chris Tomlin for it? You know, based on what I know about Chris Tomlin, and, you know, we are quite close because we did go to the movies together once. That's right. Apparently he's not a fundamentalist Baptist because, okay, he was in the theaters at the same time I was. The point is, would I shellac him knowing that overall he writes good theological stuff, that overall he preaches the gospel when he does his concerts? I don't think that I would be inclined to go, that's it, he's jumped ship. Here's another thing to consider. Maybe, just maybe, it's one of those Tim Tebow type of issues. Remember Tim Tebow found himself in that mess where he was invited through a speaker's agency to go to some Word Faith conference and it blew up on the internet, and what did he do? He pulled out of it. Maybe that's the same case here where he went, maybe Chris Tomlin and his brain went, you know, I'm going to go there and yeah, I'm going to lead worship, but I'm going to preach the gospel to him real clear and I'm going to speak out against the prosperity nonsense. Now, would I think that justifies worship? Personally, I don't. Could I understand that he would? Yes. Point being, it really depends on the individual how much grace we might be inclined to afford, how close of a call it is, the impact of it. We want to be a little bit more grace-filled with brothers who are consistently good. Now, if it were somebody that was writing garbage, then it would be like, figures, duh, expect that. Somebody like Chris Tomlin, who I actually don't know, I would be inclined at least to give the benefit of the doubt. Now, if other things start to happen and there starts to develop a pattern, then I might be concerned, but just a one-off type of thing, I don't think I would.